Okay, I'm back. I'm back with another episode of Real Talk with VladBrad. Another Real Talk with VladBrad episode. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be fire, just like the other ones be fire. But this one is really going to be fire because I'm going to talk about future guests. Future guests I'm going to have on the show. I'm narrowing it down who I'm going to have on the show first. So I'm definitely going to talk about that. But let's get into what I really want to talk about. I'm going to talk about two trending topics for this show. Just two. And but the first one I'm going to talk about is the NBA Finals results as I predicted them. I was right. For those of you who listened to my last podcast, I was right about it. Unfortunately, I was right. I didn't want to be right. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to be talking about the Jay-Z Beyonce situation at the NBA game, at the NBA Finals. That's going to be crazy. Definitely got to get into that. Also, I'm going to talk about priorities. People need to get their priorities together. Get your priorities in order. Also, I'm going to talk about being a nice person. Nice people who get taken advantage of. Yes, and I'm one of them. I'm one of you. So without further ado, what I usually say, I say KBLP LLC, thank you all for rocking with me in the world of Mad VladBrad.
This is gonna feel real good, alright? Most dope. Everybody please put a thumb in the air.
Okay, let's get this. So, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get right into it. Again, like you know how most people, they'll save the hot subjects for last, whatever they want to talk about. I mean, whatever trending or whatever, they save it for last to get you to keep listening. No, I'm not one of them. So let's get right into this. Straight up, get right into it. King Cannabis, brought to you by King Cannabis. Gotta say that. Anyway, NBA final results as I predicted them. Crap. I watched the NBA finals, scoped it out, and for those of you who are my fans who listen to what I say, who listen to my podcast, my other podcast, this is a Real Talk with VladBrad episode. Yeah. But in my last podcast, my last Real Talk with VladBrad episode, I talked about the NBA finals and I gave my prediction. Yes, I gave my prediction. I said, here's exactly what I said. I said, Toronto Raptors was going to win it. I said it before it even happened. I said that, Toronto Raptors were too talented, and I matched up the talents from Toronto Raptors roster versus Golden State roster. And I ended up being right in that prediction. I was hoping that I was wrong, but I wasn't. I was right. So yeah, I'm a prophet. I know for a fact I'm a prophet. I see things. I don't know. Everybody thought Golden State was going to win it. But here's the thing. I did a few bets. And even though I went against what I said, yes, I went against what I said. I should have listened to me. I should have listened to what I said. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, you know, in my last podcast, the thing is, I listened to it again and I was like, dude, shut up. Really, bro? Really? I mean, don't just rub it in my face. Like when I said what I said in my last podcast about, I didn't think Golden State was going to win it. And I was so right about it, but I still bet it against Toronto, even though I said it. Like, really? Here's the thing. I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to get into it because I'm frustrated by it. I'm like super just like, I'm like just so super insanely just, how can you say, like, agitated. Yes, agitated is the word. I'm agitated by it because here's what happened, right? I went with Golden State. I completely betted on Golden State. I had a few bets for Golden State to win, even though I knew that Golden State was not going to win because I said it in my last podcast. Because you know how people say, like you hear people say, they said, see, I told you this would happen, but they have no proof of what they said. Some people say they did something or they said something and they have no proof of it. Like, dude, how do you know you said it? I don't know you said it. But the thing is, I'm glad I recorded it. I'm glad it's uploaded in the last, what do you call this, in my last Real Talk with VladBrad episode. Prior to this one, I said it, I predicted it, and it went exactly as I said. I said it wasn't going to be a sweep. It was not a sweep. I said that Toronto Raptors were going to win the finals. I said they were going to win a championship. It happened just like I said it. Even though I said that, I still went against what I said. You see what I mean? So, Oh my gosh, dude, really? So anyway, but let's talk a little bit about this game. I'm not going to go a whole long. I'm not going to go I'm not going to sport analyze this, and I'm not going to go too long about it. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. Kevin Durant, they try to bring him back. You know, I mean, he was injured. He was beat up. He injured his Achilles tendon, Achilles tendon or whatever. One thing I do know about Achilles tendon injuries, that they're career ending. Like, for those of you who watch WWE or wrestling for that matter, it was a wrestler named Edge. And Edge, that ended his career. He had Achilles injury and he completely retired from it. And Edge was fairly young when he retired from that injury. But but the thing is, you have some players who are just built. Back to basketball. You have some players who they're just very resilient and they're built. And today's game, it's a soft game. It's a softer game from back in the 90s and the early 2000s, etc. It's a softer game. Today is just like the rules of the game is different. I mean, everything is just different. I mean, they cater to the players more, and it's just like it's a whole different game back when Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Barkley, and all them, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, all these players. It was different. Like, and let me give you an example. Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant had a broken finger. He had Achilles injury too. And he had a broken finger, and he still played. He still played with a beat up Achilles and a broken finger. And he still played the game. You see what I mean? Because see, players back then, they actually had nuts. They had nuts back then, and they were built. They were a whole different breed of player back then. They were a whole different animal back then than it was today. Not only that, Gary Payton, right? We're going to talk about Gary Payton. Gary Payton, who's nicknamed the Glove. He played with the Seattle Supersonics, but in the last years of his career, he played with the Los Angeles Lakers. Back when Gary Payton played, he had a torn calf muscle. Yes, Gary Payton had a torn calf muscle, and he played with a torn calf muscle. Like, he went through it, he played through it, and he guarded Jordan with the torn calf muscle. You see what I mean? He still played through it. And here, okay. But I was watching a game, right? I'm cheering. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go Warriors. Yeah, I'm clapping. Oh yeah, whoa, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, come on, we can do this. Like, I'm like really cheering the Warriors on. And here's the thing, right? And I mean, I may offend some people what I'm about to say. What I'm getting ready to say right now, some people are going to be offended, but I don't care. You know, I don't care because it's the truth. It's the truth. And here it goes, right? Okay. Before I say what I'm going to say to offend people, I'm gonna break down why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break down why I wanted Golden State to win. I'm going to break down why I wanted Golden State to win versus the Toronto Raptors to win. I'm going to tell you why. And I was conflicted, right? I didn't know really who I wanted to go for at one point. I was like, okay, should I root for Golden State? Should I root for Toronto? But here's what swayed my decision. Because see, when I did the podcast, right? When I did the last VladBrad podcast, like I wasn't biased at all. Like I didn't know who I wanted to go for. Like I mean, honestly, I said I wanted Golden State to win, but I kind of wanted them to win, but I really wasn't tripping who won really. And so it was easy for me to think with a clear head. It was easier for me to think with a clear head because I just said I want to go to State because I'm on the West Coast. So naturally I said Golden State, but really I didn't care in my last podcast. But this podcast, I actually, had some wagers on it. You see what I mean? So I actually cared. So I got blinded. By my bias. My biased behavior blinded me. So it obscured my vision. It obscured my sense of rationale. It obscured my wisdom. You know what I mean? Me being blinded by wanting Golden State to win in this particular podcast, whatever. So but they lost. Anyway, here's why I wanted Golden State to beat Toronto Raptors. Here's why. And I'm gonna break it down. This is what it was, right? Okay. I mean, whatever. Just I'm getting right into it. For those of you know who I am, I mean, that see me on my YouTube channel. For those of you who subscribe to me at the Road of VladBrad on my YouTube channel, you guys obviously know what I look like. I'm a tall, super light, bright dude. You know what I mean? That's who I am, right? So naturally, but I'm not the only one in the world. Like, are there others? No, there's others that are like that. No way. Are you kidding me? Yes, there are others. I'm not the only one, right? So just like you have people in different nationalities, you know what I mean? You have people who are white, you have people who are Hispanic, you have people who are black, you have people who are like, you know, people who are Asian and etc. You see what I mean? So me, you know, me being, you know, a biracial dude, being a light, bright dude, there are others who are like me, right? So we identify with each other, you know, to a certain degree. So I was conflicted because you have Steph Curry and you have Klay Thompson. They're the Splash Brothers, these two light dudes. And I'm like, oh, I like these guys. Okay, yeah, these are some cool guys. I like these guys. They're the Splash Brothers. I like these dudes, right? But then on the other hand, you have on Toronto Raptors, you have Fred VanVleet. I said, okay, I like that dude. I like Van. We have the same beard, we're the same complexion, pretty much. We have the same kind of beard and everything else. Oh my, that is so cool. I like VanVleet. And, you know, and I'm thinking about Fred VanVleet. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. And then Drake, they have Drake over there too. Drake is a singer, the guy who's always simping us. He's always simping the females on in his songs and everything else. He's singing, oh, there's nobody feels so bad. Like he's always singing, right? I said, I kind of like Drake. Okay, cool. He's another light, bright kind of guy. You know what I mean? I like Drake too. You know what I mean? So I was conflicted who to root for, but here's what swayed my decision. Here's exactly what swayed my decision, right? Is because for one thing, I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, Drake, right? Drake. Let's talk about Drake. I said, the thing is, some odd years ago, he was he did like a show for the Miami Heat. He did a show for the Miami Heat when LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were teammates. He did like a opening for them. Like he supported them and he was like celebrating their victory with them. So I was thinking, wait a minute, that's the Miami Heat. That's not the Toronto Raptors. Why are you celebrating and winning with? Why are you celebrating a victory with the Miami Heat? And that's not even the Toronto Raptors. I said, dude, that is so two-faced and that's just so wishy-washy. You know what? Screw the Toronto Raptors. I don't want the Toronto Raptors to win. I'm going for Golden State. So that's what swayed my decision to go at the Splash Brothers and to go at the Golden State Warriors. That's what it was. So anyway, so I took a few bets here and there and I took some L's. Yes, I took some L's. So when I took the L's, but anyways, here's what I'm going to say is going to offend people. Let's get back to that. Here's what it is, right? Okay, these dudes, right? These guys, I mean, you know, but I'm saying these super light, bright dudes like that, they be playing games. I mean, that be balling, whether they're playing basketball, whether they're playing hockey, whether they're playing volleyball, whether they're playing hopscotch, whether they're playing jump rope, whatever it is they're doing, they're soft. Dag nabbit, they're soft. You see what I mean? And that's just what it is. I'm one of them. Sometimes I could be soft. I'm being real. They're soft. I mean, if you're offended, so what? You see what I mean? If there are other guys and chicks, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. Yeah, I said it. So what? I said it. I'm one of them. Yeah, and I know for a fact, me being one of them, we're soft. We can be soft. You know what I mean? So I was like, Clay, come on, bro, play through it. Don't be soft. Don't get injured. He got injured, and I said, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? And I had said this. I said, okay. I said, you know what? If we can keep Kevin Durant, we can for sure win this game. Like this game is a wrap. If Kevin Durant, so when Kevin Durant got injured, he was out. I said, okay, it's kind of in the air. We can pull this off. We can still pull this off. We still got the Splash Brothers and everything else. So I mean, it's doable. It's doable. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some drive. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some willpower. But we can pull this off. We can definitely win this. So and here's the thing. Right, when Klay Thompson got injured, like no one injured him. He went up, he came down on his feet, right? He came down on his feet, he landed on his feet correctly. However, when he landed on his feet, he contorted his foot as he landed and he injured himself. I'm like, oh no, Klay, what? Not that soft stuff now. Come on, dude, not the soft stuff now. Don't do the soft stuff now, dude. And he did it. And I said, if Klay get injured, it's over with. It's over with. You know, Curry by himself, he had to go up against the other big three. Was it Kyle Lowry, I believe his name. Kyle Lowry. Who else? He had to go up against my boy, my brother, my light bright brother VanVleet. And I was hating VanVleet, but I love him now. But during competition time, I hated him. You said I mean? And I'll tell him, I said, don't let VanVleet look at a ball. Don't let him look at a ball. Don't even foul VanVleet. Keep him out the game. Like do whatever you can. Do not let him touch the ball. And what they do, they let him touch the ball. You said I mean? But yeah, so Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, and not to mention, last but not least, was it Kawhi Leonard? They had their big three, right? So it's those three. It's Kawhi Leonard, Fred VanVleet, and Kyle Lowry versus Steph Curry by himself. And I knew after that, I knew it was a wrap. I knew it was over with. You see what I mean? And I was like, no. And wow. So I lost my bets, took my L's, and the game was over. So yes. And again, I predicted it. I made my prediction in my last podcast, and I did not listen to my own prediction. I did not listen to myself. You see what I mean? And and when I described it in the last podcast, I talked about it, and I was more like casual when I said it. I was casual. I think, I mimic people. I do mimic. I'm gonna mimic myself. I said, oh yeah, I said, yeah, man. This is exactly. I'm gonna say exactly how I said it in my last podcast. I said what I said. I said, they have too much, to the talent. I just don't see Golden State pulling it off, man. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I hope that I'm wrong though, man. I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think Golden State have what it takes to defeat, the Toronto Raptors. And that's exactly what I said. And I said it in that exact tone of voice. Oh my God, dude. Anyway, congratulations, Toronto Raptors. Fred VanVleet, dude, congratulations, my brother. Much success to all you guys, whatever. Congratulations to the city of Toronto. I just didn't want Drake to win. I just didn't want him to win. You see what I mean? I didn't want Drake to win because he flip-flopped teams. You know what I mean? He flip-flopped. So I didn't want him to win. But anyway, I took the L. Drake got the W. I took the L. Whatever. Done with that subject matter. I'm going to talk about the other subject matter. The Beyonce Jay-Z situation. I definitely got to talk about that because, Beyonce, she has her Beehive, right? She got the Beehive and everything. And, her and her Beehive, she have a strong fan base. And hey, yo, VladBrad, this is so, what that, Jay-Z? Dude, what are you doing on my podcast, dude? Hey, before you get talk about the podcast, just go light on Bay and me. I heard your last podcast, and your podcast was Hova. I like your work. I see your hustle. You grinding, and I'm the big homie Jay. Hova. Just kind of go light on it. I knew you was going to get on. I knew you was going to talk about it eventually. Yeah, young. Okay, wait. First, okay, Jay-Z, bro. First, what are you doing in my podcast, for one? And for two, I'm getting ready to talk about you. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about your wife, because your wife have a strong following. She have a strong following on social media, and they're the Beehive, and they just like to go crazy and berserks on people because of her. Hov, you're an awesome rapper. I like your music, but dude, I gotta talk about you, bro. I have to speak on it. Okay, that's fine. You gotta speak. Go ahead, do your spiel. Just know I'm a fan of your podcast. Beyonce and the Beehive, we all fans. So just, young, just kind of, go easy. And, let me just tell you my side of the story. Yeah. Her name is Nicole Corin. She has a lot of money. She has way more money than me and my wife. She's a multi-billionaire. So, what am I supposed to ignore her? I gotta speak to her. Young Hov. I had to say something. Shit. I couldn't ignore her. So, she spoke to me. I had to speak back. What you expect me to do? It's already Becky with the good hair. I got caught cheating once with, it was the covers. I had to cover myself up, and, she still caught us, and Beyonce got mad with Becky with the good hair. Young. I had 99 problems, but if a girl ain't one, but now I have girl problems. And remember, I feel bad for you, son. Remember the song I made, but now I'm the one with the problems with the girls. 99 problems and ain't one. Shit. So just kind of go light. Okay, Jay, I heard you. Okay, fine, dude. I'm not gonna go too hard on you, dude. Okay, fine. Just, can you please let me do my podcast? I appreciate you coming by, listen to my podcast. Thank you. But let me do my podcast because I have my listeners and they want to hear me do my podcast. And I haven't did a podcast in like forever, Hov. So yeah, just, dude, thank you. I'm doing my podcast. So anyway, yeah, this Beyonce situation. Definitely got to talk about it. Okay, here's what happened, right? Basically, you know, they were at the game. They're at the game. Beyonce and Jay-Z were at the game, and so some female start talking to Jay-Z, and I mean, I did my research on the video. I looked at it. Basically, what it was is from what I can gather from me reading her lips, it looked like she asked her, "Are you coming to Friday's game?" The female asked Jay-Z, and she completely looked past Beyonce, and she said, "Are you?" She's like, "Are you going to come to Friday's game?" Like she said that to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z responded like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, yeah, you know, I'm going to come," and he kind of played it off. You could tell Beyonce was kind of perturbed by that, like a little. She was vaguely agitated. But the thing about it is, her Beehive, they went off, like they exploded, and they attacked this girl, this lady, I should say, and the lady name is Nicole Curran. Nicole Curran is her name. And for you Beehivers, don't get me wrong, Beyonce got some good music, but I think a lot of Beehivers, they just get excessive you know, like, "Oh, I'll save you. You know, Captain Save her. You know, they get to it and they just kind of rush to her aid. They just overwhelmingly rush to her aid, and they attack Nicole Curran's social media. They just went ballistic on her. I mean, they did too much. I mean, you guys knock it off, really, right? So anyway, yeah, so Nicole, she's just not no Rudy Poo female. She's really not. Like Nicole Curran, she's like, she's the wife of one of the owners, and this dude is like a multi-billionaire. He got like more money and congratulations, Jay-Z just hit the billionaires list. He just barely became a billionaire. Congratulations. But this dude, her husband, has more money than Beyonce and Jay-Z put together. You know what I mean? So, so Jay-Z spoke back. He spoke back and he talked to the chick and he said hi to the chick, whatever transpired. You guys seen it. I'm sure this is a trending topic. You guys looked at it. I mean, if you haven't seen it, this is what happened, right? So, yeah. I mean, you know, honestly, I mean, it would have been rude for Jay-Z to ignore. It would have been rude for Jay-Z to ignore the situation. It would have been rude for Jay-Z to ignore this female. I mean, even if she was just a random fan, I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, it would have been rude, but it was rude on the female part too. They've been both. Well, Jay-Z was not rude, but the female was rude. I think the female should have included Beyonce and Jay-Z both. When she did, she should have asked. She should have talked to the both of them. But you know, more is happening. More than me and you know, than we can fathom. More is going on there. I mean, you know, we're on the outside looking in, so we don't know the whole extent of why that happened the way it did, and we don't know the full extent of why as to she just addressed and talked to Jay-Z and ignored Beyonce. We don't know I mean, we don't know. Maybe the thing is, maybe they were talking. All three of them were talking prior to the cameras getting on them. You know, I mean, there got to be a lot of explanation to it, but based on what our eyes can see, it just seems as though that she was only talking to Jay-Z and she was ignoring Beyonce, and she was asking Jay-Z, he's coming to the Friday's game. And Beyonce kind of nudged her. You know, basically she kind of gave like a light nudge to kind of say back up. I mean, that's what it looked like. We don't know. Yeah, it looked like that, you know, but maybe that's not what it was. Maybe, you know, it was just an honest mistake. Who knows? But Jay-Z did the right thing by speaking to her and not ignoring her. And it looked as though this Nicole Curran female was rude and she just kind of bypassed Beyonce. That's what it looked like. But I don't think that was the case. I feel like that, you know, they were all conversing prior to the camera being put on them. But yeah, the Beehive just kind of went in, like they just went bzz, 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 bzz. It's like, okay, like Beyonce, like she's the queen, attack, you know, like an actual beehive, right? And the honey, like for those you that don't know nature, I'm sure most of you know nature. You have the queen bee, right? You have a bumblebee. The bumblebee is like a yellow and black bee. The bumblebee is like a guard, like a bumblebee is a male. He's a big, the big male. And then like you have like the other bees, like the honeybees, right? You have the honeybees, and then you have like the queen bee, the big queen bee. Beyonce's like the big queen bee, right? It's like attack. Okay, yes, queen, we'll attack. Bzz, 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 bzz. They just hitting her with the stinger. They hit her. So basically, that's what you guys are. You guys are her bees. You guys are attacking people. That's what your beehives are. That's what you guys are. So yeah, I think that was a little unwarranted. I mean, I think y'all guys, it was a little excessive. with you guys, attacking her in her social media. That's so wasn't. I mean, let's say if you're going to comment on it, you could just say, I mean, what would have been a logical comment or a respectable comment if you're going to reprimand her for attacking Beyonce. I mean, not attack. I mean, for talking to Jay-Z. If you're going to reprimand her, here's what would have been a logical, cordial reprimand. You can say, excuse me, Miss Nicole Curran. That wasn't right. That was rude of you to just look over Beyonce like that. Next time, use manners. I mean, you can say something like that, and next time be civilized. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. It's respectable. But the stuff that they were saying to this Nicole Curran female, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Like, I don't feel sorry for her because this female is a multi-billionaire. So, honestly, I can give a rat's butt about, how she feel. But I'm just saying it's like a morals kind of situation. You know what I mean? You guys gotta just, have some morals about yourself, and you guys are like lambs for the slaughter. You Beehive females are not just females, there's guys too. There's guys in the Beehive and there's females in the Beehive. You guys are like lambs for the slaughter. Beyonce could say, go jump off a window, and you guys would do that. You said, I mean, you guys need to have a life, get a life, and just kind of, just chill out, But anyway, back to it. What it was like, yeah, so like, okay, basically, like, let's assume you guys hurt her feelings, right? Let's assume you guys hurt her feelings. Like, let's say Nicole Curran read all your comments you guys left to on her social media. You guys attacked her. Let's say she's hurting. Oh my gosh. Why did they say this to me? Oh my God. Why did they do that? Here, hand me another $100. Sweetie, can you hand me another $100 bill so I can wipe my face? Let me wipe my tears with the hundreds. Oh my God. No. Why would they say that? I didn't mean to attack Beyonce. I didn't mean to do that to her. Here, hand me another 100, please. Okay, I'm done. Can you throw this 100 in the trash? Because I need another 100 to hand me like 10 more hundred so I can wipe my nose, blow my nose with $100 bills. Oh no. Why? Yeah, straight like that. You see what I mean? So I mean, just think of it like this. This chick, Nicole Curran, has more money than you'll ever see in a lifetime. So attacking her is pointless. Going to her Instagrams and her social medias and etc. is pointless. Or what is it? Her Twitter, I believe it was. It's pointless because, I mean, she's a multi-insane billionaire. So, I mean, you Beehive attackers. And again, I have nothing against Beyonce. And in fact, I'm going to tell you a Beyonce story. I'm going to tell you guys a Beyonce story for you Beehivers. And this is a God honest truth story. Some odd years ago, she did a performance at the Dodger Stadium. She's on a world tour. And I can't remember exactly the date, but I had a friend he worked at Dodger Stadium. He lived not too far from there. So he said, yeah, dude, he asked us to pick him up because he had Ubers and Lyfts and everything else even back then, but it could have been like a couple years ago. It could have been like about 2 or 3 years ago. No, it was 2016. You guys can Google that. Look it up. She had a world tour performance at the Dodger Stadium in 2016. I believe it was. So she did the performance. My friend, he worked at Dodger Stadium. I have pictures. Like, if you go to my YouTube, I have a few videos I uploaded of myself in Dodger Stadium. Also, I have pictures that I haven't uploaded yet on my Instagram that me and Dodger Stadium, just me by myself in the entire stadium, nobody else in the stadium, just me alone in the stadium. He worked there. He's an awesome dude. My boy Trent, he worked, so anyway, we went to pick up Trent a while ago, and he said, yeah, can you guys pick me up? So we went to pick him up. I said, dude, we can't get in here, bro. Like, how are we supposed to get inside? Cause they had a massive event. Celebrities were there and everything else. He said, okay, I'm gonna have one of my guys give you guys, some backstage passes. So, you guys can kind of walk through and everything. And then I'll let you go when I'm ready. Cause I'm gonna get off in like another 20 minutes. I was like, okay, cool. No problem. So they gave us the passes. We were wearing these yellow passes, and Beyonce was performing on stage. So, I was like standing, I was able to I wasn't in the audience. I was standing like right on the stage, with Beyonce. But no, let me clarify that. I wasn't like right next to her. I was like maybe about, on how the stage to set up, because my friend, he helps sets all that stuff up and with equipment and everything. So like we were standing like maybe I was about maybe I'm gonna say 20 feet from Beyonce, like on the stage. But like, there's like a gate right there. They have security. Like it's like they have these big goon looking security guards. And you gotta, if you have the backstage pass thing, like I guess they were her VIP guests. They were standing like right on it's like on the left hand side of the stage. Like if, on the left hand side of the stage. So when I said, I'm curious. So I was standing there and like the VIP people, I guess they were her personal friends and people who knew her. I was standing over there with her. I mean with them, excuse me. And, it was, myself and, my other boy, Robert. It was me and Robert. We were standing there and it was like maybe 6 people and they were looking at us like we were awkward. And I honestly, I just wanted to stand there, but they were curious as to how we got right there. But then they seen our passes too. So they were wondering like, okay, who are these people? How'd they get this kind of seniority like us? So they were kind of looking at us, but obviously we're here like you're here. And, and you see these big goons, they let us by. So they was curious who we were. They were like, are these people important or who are they? Are they somebody important they gotta be somebody important to have these passes. But we weren't like important like that. Honestly, we were just some random guys who knew somebody who worked there who got us the passes. So I was able to kind of, so I was basically on the same stage as Beyonce. That's how close I was to her. But even though I was on the stage, it was like a little mini gate blocking us off from the actual, only thing that was separating Beyonce from myself. We were on the same exact stage, but I was like 20 feet from her and there's a little mini gate in front of me, a little mini gate. I could have easily stepped over the gate and walked on the stage. If I went to get my viral moment, I could have done that, but I didn't want a viral moment, so I just kind of chilled there for like maybe a couple minutes. And then, Trent was like, okay, yeah, he called, you guys almost ready? I'm almost ready, whatever. So yeah, dude. And we just kind of and I recorded it. I video recorded on my phone. I might upload it maybe. And she's not as voluptuous as she looks on television. When they say TV adds 10 pounds, it definitely adds 10 pounds. So for you Beehivers, go ahead, attack me, do what you're going to do. I said it. Beyonce is not as voluptuous as she looks in person. You said, she's not as voluptuous in person. She looks on television. She's not as voluptuous. You said, So yeah. So that happened. But I seen a couple other celebrities there, Vin Diesel was there, a couple other dudes. I think that Chris Tucker dude was there. I seen a couple like C-list celebrities. They were all supporting it. Yeah, but look, it was like 2016. She was on a world tour. It was at the Dodger Stadium. So yeah, I was there for that. And it was, she performed. I liked her performance. It was very entertaining. For the little bit that I heard, I didn't stay for the entire thing because I'm not a Beehiver. I'm not a Beyonce fan, but I'm not a Beyonce hater either. I'm like neutral to the situation. I think she's an awesome singer though. But I'm not like, I'm not a stan. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm not a Beyonce stan. So with that being said, done with that subject matter. Gotta talk about, now let's get into what I really do. We're going to talk about prioritizing. And here's the thing, right? Real talking VladBrad. Got to get that in because I haven't been saying that in a while in my podcast. Real talking VladBrad. Anyway, prioritizing. And here's what I mean by prioritizing. I think that people, they don't prioritize correctly. And usually, and what I mean by people, let me just gonna get down to it. I'm just gonna say minorities. Most minorities, period. And by minorities, I'm talking about blacks and Hispanics, mostly blacks and then Hispanics, but Asians and white people, they prioritize very well. Very well. So yeah, here's the thing. I had another boy, my boy Marcus, right? And Marcus is my boy. He's probably going to hear this, but I got to put it out there, bro. Marcus drives he has a brand new, Audi. I don't know if you guys, them new Audi trucks, like a Audi is like a really very high class, expensive SUV. And it's brand new. He has a brand new Audi. And he dresses the way he dressed, he's always clean. His hair is always hooked up. And the dude, he's a GQ kind of guy and everything. So, and here's what I mean by prioritizing, right? As good as this dude have it in terms of his vehicle, the Audi and everything else, he lives in it. He lives in his Audi. You know what I mean? Like, and again, prioritizing, right? What I mean by, like, this dude could get himself, let's say he can buy himself a Hyundai. He can get himself like a Hyundai for like $8,000, and he can own it, and he can have himself an apartment. He can have an apartment with a Hyundai furnished. He can have a furnished apartment with the Hyundai. You see what I mean? And he can live within his means, within his expenses, but he rather look good. He wants to look good and be flashy. And the thing is, you have basic women, basic females, right? And he knows women are basic. And this is what he does. And God, he has a couple baby moms, and he's not supporting a couple of his kids and everything else, but he rather look good and be fancy so he can sleep with the different chicks, because, basic females go for that. Basic females go for that. Like, say, and it's like, that's what I mean by prioritizing. People, they're rather, they're rather, they live beyond their means, and they don't put that they don't prioritize how they're supposed to. I'm gonna give another example. Like, you have, let's say people, like, again, much love to everybody who blaze, or whatever it is that you do. Much love to the blazers. And what I mean by blazers, people who smoke their weeds, and much love to all that. However, here's how I feel about that. And this is, again, with prioritizing. I think, I think smoking weed should be preserved for those who smoke responsibly, who do it responsibly, right? And that's what I mean by that. Take care of your bills, take care of your children, take care of your responsibilities, then smoke your weed. You see what I mean? But you have people who, they know they have their rent is due. Like, let's say they could be, they have, not even, they say their rent is due, right? But they'll take their rent money. They'll take their rent money and they'll go buy their marijuana, and they're going to smoke their marijuana with their own rent money. So now when it's time to pay your rent, you're behind. You know what I mean? You don't pay your mortgage, and, like, stuff that need to be paid, your car notes and etc. Like, what they'll do is they'll take their money, their rent monies, and their money that they need to pay their bills with, the stuff they need to do important things with it. This money is reserved for important matters. They'll take the money that's reserved for their important matters, and they'll go cluck it off, and they'll do, or not even that. Like, say they'll go gamble, they'll go do some gambling, thinking they can flip their money, and they'll do something that collect their money off. So you got to be responsible, man. You have to be responsible, and and prioritize correctly. You know what I mean? For you people, I'm gonna tell you what you people who don't prioritize correctly. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm talking about this, because them people, they affect those around them as well. Not only do they affect themselves, they affect those, their close family, friends, and members that are around them. Because here's what happens: they'll say, "Oh, excuse me," hey, they'll go to you, they'll call you, they'll call you, "Hello, hey, dude, hey, bro, I need a favor. Can you let me borrow a couple $100s, man? I'll pay you back on my next paycheck. I promise, I'll pay you back." Like, why? What happened? Oh man, something. And they're not going to tell you the truth. They're not going to tell you what actually happened. They're not going to say, "Oh, I decided to, I decided to go gamble or whatever. So, I lost some money and everything." Or they're not going to say, "I decided to go to the strip club and everything, and I clucked off." They're not going to tell you that. They're going to say, "Oh man, some things came up, dude, and some stuff came up, and if you don't mind, just let me I'll pay you my next paycheck, man. I promise you, man. That's what happened. If you could just help me out this one time." And see, now it's coming on you, and you as a friend, you're like, "Oh man, you're the responsible friend." So you're like, "Okay, well, crap, dude. Sure, I guess I'll help you out, man. Here you go, man." But if they would just prioritize correctly, they wouldn't have to go, or they'll go to their family member. They'll call their sister, they'll call their brother, they'll call their dad, They'll call their mom. They'll call somebody. They'll call their cousin, and they'll call them up to ask to borrow the monies. They'll call their uncle. They'll call their niece, whoever it is. You see what I mean? They'll call you up, and because you fall in the criteria, you fall in that criteria. Here's what you are. You're a best friend. You're an uncle. You're a cousin. You're a sister. You're a brother. You're a mother. You're a father. You're one of them. You're one of these people I named. You're one of them. You see what I mean? So you fall in that criteria, and they're calling you up because they clucked their money off because they didn't prioritize correctly, and now you're in the fact that they didn't have their priorities together. Now you got to suffer from their mishaps or their mistake or them not making rational decisions. You're suffering from it. So yeah, with all due respect, prioritize correctly, think responsibly, and drink responsibly. You know, that's another thing they do. They'll spend their money on liquor and booze, and they'll just and then you're affected by it. So yeah, definitely have to talk about that. Definitely prioritize correctly, and make sure that be responsible, because it's going to affect you in the long run. You're going to be affected by it, and it's going to catch up to you. It's going to catch up to you. So definitely have your priorities in order. And this goes along hand in hand with my other subject matter that I'm going to talk about. And that's being a nice person, being nice and being taken advantage of. Here's the thing. I'm one of you. I'm one of you nice people. Definitely one of you. And if you're, how can I say, like, if you're a nice person, right? People have a tendency and still stay golden. Like, I don't know, like I'm a movie buff. I'm an old movie buff. I don't know if you guys seen a movie called The Outsiders. The Outsiders had a bunch of stars in it. It was a star-studded cast back when they were young. Still on the same subject matter, but I gotta say this because it's kind of have to do with the subject matter. So here it goes. It had Matt Damon. Back in the day, Matt Damon. It had Patrick Swayze, rest in peace. Love me some Patrick Swayze. One of my favorite actors of all time. Who else it had in it? It had Ralph Macchio, who's Karate Kid. For those who don't know, Ralph Macchio's Karate Kid. It had Emilio Estevez in the movie, and a bunch of other actors, a bunch of others. Oh, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was in it as well. How can I forget Tom? Tom Cruise was in it. So if you guys haven't seen the movie The Outsiders, you guys definitely got to scope that out. Really awesome movie. So anyway, it was a scene where Pony Boy, I believe, and Johnny was Ralph Macchio, and Johnny was like a really nice kid, and I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but I am gonna spoil the movie. Was it Johnny died? He died, but he was a really good kid, and he told Pony Boy, he says, Pony Boy, stay golden, Pony Boy, stay golden. And it was a really awesome, heart touching movie, tear jerking kind of movie. But anyway, for people who are nice, right? For the nice people, and me included, stay golden. Don't let people take advantage of you, and don't let them take away your goldenness. Don't let them take away your sense of innocence to a certain degree. Don't let them take away your optimism, if you will, because they'll take that away from you, and they'll eat you alive and swallow you whole if you let them. Still stay golden, still stay good-hearted, but at the same time, be smart about it. Be smart about it. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. I'm gonna give an extreme example. Let's say I'm gonna call him. Let's say Joe. Let's say Joe. I'm gonna call a guy Joe. No, but yeah. I'm gonna say Sarah. I'm gonna call her. Not even that. I'm gonna say Jolene. I'm gonna just say Jolene. No, not even that. Crap, I need to, dude, come up with a name already. Just say anybody. What are you going to say? Get to the point. Say what you're going to say. I'm going to say Rebecca. Let's say Rebecca, right? Let's say she has a brother named Butch, right? And let's say Butch is in good shape. Let's say Butch is in really good shape. Let's say Butch drives a Camaro. Let's say Butch drives a Hyundai. Let's say Butch has a Toyota as well. Let's say Butch have like at least 3-4 cars, right? He's doing fairly well. He's in really good shape, and let's say he's financially stable. So Butch is Rebecca's brother, right? And let's say you, right? I'm gonna say let's call you Mary. I'm going to call you Mary, right? And let's say Rebecca and Mary are best friends. Let's say they're best friends, right? And let's say Mary's in a wheelchair. Let's say Mary, she's handicapped and she's in a wheelchair, right? Mary's handicapped, she's in a wheelchair. And but Butch is not handicapped. And but here's what Butch and Mary have in common. Butch and Mary are both connected to Rebecca somehow, right? They're both connected to Rebecca. Butch is Rebecca's brother. Mary is her best friend. So but let's say Butch, he's not an approachable kind of guy. He's not approachable, even though he can help people out, but he's not an approachable person. He don't have a reputation for being nice. Let's say Rebecca is a sweetheart. I mean, not Rebecca, excuse me. Let's say Mary's a sweetheart. Mary's, she's really nice. And, she's an approachable person. So here's what Rebecca's going to do. Rebecca, she's going to go to Mary and she's going to say, instead of going to Butch, right? Let's say Rebecca has a meeting she needs to get to the next day. So she could say, wait a minute, my brother has cars he could let me borrow. I can ask Butch to let me borrow his Hyundai. Now, I don't want to talk to Butch because Butch has a horrible attitude. Oh my gosh. Butch is probably going to, he's not an approachable guy. He's very intimidating. I don't know. I don't want to talk to Butch. I'm going to talk to Rebecca instead. I'm going to talk to Mary instead. That's what Rebecca's thinking. So she tells Mary, hey, Mary, do you mind if I borrow your wheelchair? Because, I need to get to my appointment. I have a meeting I have to go to. And so I need to borrow your wheelchair because I need the way to get there. And here's the thing. Rebecca can walk. Rebecca could take the bus. She could take a Lyft, Uber, anything, but she don't want to do that. You said, she wants to borrow your wheelchair. You said, she wants to borrow Mary's wheelchair. So like, say Mary, as nice as she is, she need her wheelchair because that's the only way Mary gets around in her wheelchair. That's the only way she gets around. But you have those Rebeccas out there who will go to Mary and ask Mary for her wheelchair instead of going to Butch and asking Butch to borrow one of his cars. You see what I mean? Just because you're nice, they'll take advantage of you and they'll chew you up and spit you out. You see what I mean? And you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this is my only wheelchair. I can't walk, I'm paralyzed. But if you really need it that bad, if you really need it, here, take my wheelchair. You see what I mean? So you let them borrow your wheelchair, right? But I'm going to tell you what them kind of people do. They'll borrow your wheelchair and you made a sacrifice. You sacrificed to give them your wheelchair because you're Mary. You're not Butch, you're Mary. I'm talking to you Marys out there. You sacrificed, you gave up your wheelchair, and guess what Rebecca does? She don't even use the wheelchair. She takes the wheelchair and don't even use it. And now she left you at a disadvantage. You without a wheelchair. You let Mary borrow your wheelchair and she's not even using it. You see what I mean? So for you nice people out there who have golden hearts, you good golden hearted nice people, be wise. Be wise. Use wisdom. And what I mean by that is, Rebecca has legs. Here's what you tell Rebecca. Say, hey, check it out, Rebecca. Here's what you say. Rebecca, check this out. Rebecca, you have legs. You can walk. I'm paralyzed. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't even walk. You know what I mean? Like this wheelchair I use just to get around with. He said, why don't you ask Butch for one of his cars? He said, don't come at me with that bull crap, Rebecca. I'm sorry. Go talk to Butch. Ask him. He's your brother. You know what I mean? Ask him for one of his cars instead of asking me for my wheelchair. You see what I mean? So no, Rebecca, I can't do it. I'm not letting you borrow my wheelchair. You can say that and still be good-hearted and still be a compassionate, sweet person. You can do that. You can tell them no and still be a good-hearted, sweet person. You see what I mean? That don't take away from you being a good-hearted, sweet person because you use your common sense. You see what I mean? So, honestly. So, I just thought I had to share that with you guys. That had to be shared. Before I forget, future guests. I'll just get ready to end my podcast, but I'm not going to end it because that's how I'm going to talk about my future guests. I have a few future guests. I'm going to, there's one guy, he's a vegan. He's in really good shape. And I'm thinking about having him on my podcast. And there's another person who's, this guy, another person. He's on his way to becoming a millionaire. He has his own business. And you say, what? Okay, he has his own business. What kind of business he has? What kind of dude, what kind of business he has? Okay, both these guests. So I have 3 people. Yeah, but my boy, the first guy, he's a vegan. He's in really good shape, and as you guys know, I'm into working out a little bit. I like working out, but the dude is really shredded up. He don't eat any meat. Really cool guy, and I'm talking to him about the podcast. He wants to come on. He's all for it and everything, and he definitely wants to check out the podcast. He's a good dude. Then my other boy, he has his own business. He has his own burger. It's a hot dog / burger place. And he's opening up a few more chains, and, and it's really picking up in an urban community. Kind of, it's off of Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles. I'm gonna go check him out. My boy, Mike, really awesome dude. He's another guest, something, that I'm going to have on. And, another guest is one of my cousins. She really had a hardship. She really, came through adversity, and now she's really picking her life up, and she's starting to make money now, and she's doing really well. I love her so much. That's another guest. So it's out of them 3 guests that I'm going to narrow it down from which one of them 3 that I'm going to have on the show. So yeah, that's the information that I want to share with you guys on my future guests and the future of the show. So, with that being said, we out of time. Yes, we're out of time, and I appreciate you guys listening to me. Here's another VladBrad episode, Real Talk with VladBrad episode in the books. I love all you guys. Check out my YouTube, The Word of VladBrad. Scope me out on, what is it? My Instagram, VladBrad _world_1. Check me out right there. And with that being said, I am God.
I feel like $1,000,000, but my money don't really feel like I do. And from the ground I built my own damn buzz. People was amazed I was still in high school.